Today I'm going to be breaking down IDGAF by Tee Grizzley, Chris Brown and Mariah The Scientist, where as usual I'm going to be talking you through the various elements that I'm picking up on as we go through it. Now, like we always do, before we go ahead and get into the video, if you're interested in my setup, i.e. headphones, mic and camera, I put links to those in the description below, so if you want to check those out then you can. Also, if you're on TikTok, you want to drop us a follow, show us some love, then by all means feel free. Let's get into some new music. Nice pianos.
The melody.
DJ on the beat, so it's a bang.
Get you up right now, put you up right now, get you drunk right now.
But you know I gotta make.
I don't care right now, pull your hair right now, I'm tryna beat it right now.
But you know I gotta make.
I don't give a fuck,
But you know I gotta make.
I don't give a fuck,
Don't you understand?
I don't give a fuck,
But you know I gotta make.
I don't give a fuck.
Don't you understand?
Sound good. Why you answering?
Okay, right, so we're about to get into the verse, so it makes sense. Let's cover off the intro and let's cover off the chorus. So let's kick off with the intro. We get opened up, we got some really nice, rich pianos setting the tone, driving that melody. If you listen hard enough, we can hear Tee Grizzley in the intro as well. But it is buried quite far back in the mix. And if you couple that with the pianos, which are, you know, up front and very present on the track, I actually can't make out what Tee Grizzley is saying, but he definitely has dialogue within that intro. We then shift from the intro into the chorus, and this is where the beat, the bass, the pianos are carried over. They all come into the mix, and obviously we have Chris Brown's vocals, and there are a couple of things that I want you to pay attention to with his vocals. So the first one is we get some ad-libs, and they sound like Tee Grizzley ad-libs, and they do a good job of filling the void between one phrase ending and a new phrase starting. And then the second thing that I want you to pay attention to is the layering that happens on some of Chris Brown's back end phrases, and you're gonna have to listen hard because they're not obvious, right? They're not massively stacked, they're not offset, they're actually really tight to the lead vocal, but if you listen hard enough you can hear them. Now, what I really like about the chorus is what they do with Mariah's vocals and the way that she comes in and almost completes Chris Brown's sentence. But what I really like, and I think is a banging touch, is that if you pay attention, when her line comes in, we actually get an additional layer of keys that come in over the top and they follow the exact rhythm of her line. And then the final thing to pay attention to in the chorus is the back end. And this is where Mariah is saying, you know, I've got a man, and Chris Brown is essentially saying, well, not essentially, he is saying, I don't give a F. What you notice in that segment is, again, we get another or an additional layer of keys, and that just kind of helps pad that chorus out, but bring something new into the chorus as well that we didn't have within the first segment. So let's go back, let's listen. Right, piano's coming in. There, right? And listen to the dialogue.
The melody.
DJ on the
Beat, bass, all of that.
Get you up right now, put you up right now, get you drunk right now.
But you know I gotta make.
Hear that?
Care right now, pull your hair right
Again.
now, tryna beat it right
Nice
now.
touch.
But you know I gotta make.
I don't give a fuck,
But you know I gotta make.
Extra layers in now.
Don't you understand?
I don't give a fuck,
But you know I gotta make.
I don't give a fuck.
Don't you understand?
Sound good. Why you answering then? Come here, let me smack it again. I heard you. You got a man. You love that nigga. You ain't gotta tell me again. I'm just trying to link and be nasty again. Dick in your back, call me daddy again. Ain't about to keep playing. I'm really that nigga. You keep bullshitting, I'm grabbing your friend. But damn, I can't keep my mind off of you. 2 shots of that Casa Azul, I'm ready to fool. Remember your favorite hotel, I remember your favorite position. Let's go get a room, you in a relationship now? Come on, my baby, I know you, that ain't even you. You know I'm in tune. Let's go and get freaky, what you got to lose, my baby?
Okay, right, so let's cover off Tee Grizzley's verse. We're hitting the chorus. There may be some variances that happen within the chorus, but at its core, it's going to remain the same. So let's cover off the elements that have come in the verse. So the first thing that I want to draw your attention to is what happens as we shift out of the chorus and we go into the first verse. You notice that there's no transition, no cut, no riser, no crashes, nothing. We just have a continuation from the chorus into the verse. Now, if you're an aspiring producer, you're an aspiring artist, this may be worth noting down, because this is a perfect example of how you don't have to use transitions to shift from one element of a song into the next element, i.e. in this case, chorus, verse. Now, would I have added a transition? Probably. Would it have sounded better with a transition? Probably. But it doesn't have to have one. Like, trickling over sounds just fine as it is. Now, the second thing that I want to draw your attention to is what happens when we hit the verse. Firstly, you notice that the track gets stripped back. Secondly, we get some guitars in there. As we kind of progress on, we start to hear some variance within the pianos. And then as we hit the back end, we get a similar thing to what we had in the chorus, where we get this additional layer of keys. Again, just kind of padding out that back end, but also bringing something new into the kind of instrumental and the verse. Let's go back. Let's listen.
Don't you understand?
Sound good, why you answering?
No transition.
Come here, let me smack it again. I heard
Tars.
you got a man, you love that nigga. You ain't gotta tell me again. I'm just trying to link and be nasty again. Dick in your back, call me daddy again.
Variance in the piano.
I'm really that nigga. You keep bullshitting, I'm grabbing your friend. But damn, I can't keep my mind off of you.
Now there's that layer.
I'm ready to fool.
Sounds
remember
fuller.
Your favorite hotel, I remember your favorite position. Let's go get a room. You in a relationship now? Come on, my baby, I know you, that ain't even you. You know I'm in tune. Let's go and get freaky. What you got to lose, my baby?
Back into the chorus now. Bangs, mate. All right, I just want to very quickly cover off the variance within this chorus compared to the first chorus. So the first thing I want you to pay attention to is the beat cut that happens in the chorus. The second thing that I want you to pay attention to is the guitars being carried over into the second chorus. Neither one of those things were in the first chorus. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. One, we're about to bring in a third artist. Two, she's a female vocalist, so we're going to get a massive contrast to what we've heard already. And three, we haven't had a variance or any form of transition, as we were just speaking about, because in the first chorus there is nothing. It's just a continuation into the first verse. So it makes sense and it's smart, because I'll be honest with you, if we didn't start to hear subtle shifts this kind of far into the track, we would be pushing that boundary of, you know what, this is getting a little bit boring. I'm not hearing enough shifts and changes going on within the track to keep me interested. So let's just go back very, very quickly to that part of the chorus. Right, it's coming in. There. Listen hard for the guitars, they're in there. That bangs, mate. Yeah, mate. Again. Yes,
No
mate.
reason to complain, hope we fuck tonight. And even if we can't, still won't make you mine. You wasted my time.
All right, man, let's cover off Mariah's verse. So something really nice happens as we leave the chorus and we enter the verse of Mariah. It's not the cut, it's not the guitars, because we've already discussed those. But if you pay attention, what you notice is that the final phrase of Mariah's chorus line gets carried over into the first verse momentarily. And it's just an absolutely banging touch because it allows for a seamless transition, right? There's no gap between the chorus ending and her first word of her verse starting. Another thing that I really like is the contrast that she's bringing to the track. You know, up to this point, other than within the chorus, but up to this point, it's kind of been, you know, mainly male dominated. So to bring in a female vocal just is just a welcome change. But what she's also bringing to the table is a different flow, different delivery, but she's also bringing variety within the notes. She's got her kind of comfort level, but she's also hitting us up with some high notes. And if you pay attention, when she hits some of those high notes, they become layered and they become harmonized. Unlike Chris Brown's layering, where it's much more subtle and harder to hear, these are much more obvious. So yeah, her part absolutely bangs. And like I say, a welcome change to the track. Let's go back. Let's listen.
But you know I got a man. Don't you understand? Got a girl at home, but you calling.
Listen to that, man.
You know I'm taking, baby. I don't creep. Won't even pick up. 'Cause
Eyes.
you should know better.
And again.
And I think that we could be together. Fucking right.
Boom.
You know I got a man and he fucks me right.
Boom.
No reason to.
Right, something to pay attention to. And again, for aspiring producers, artists, right, note this down. Those cuts, not only do they bang and they kind of bring, again, a welcome change to the track, to what we've heard so far, but you notice that those cuts happen on impactful phrases, right? Phrases that they want to stand out and they want you to hear. Now, for me, people send me music all the time and they get the cuts wrong, right? They cut in places that actually they don't need to, right? And where actually they could use those cuts in other places that would allow for much more impact on certain phrases, words, etc. Let's go back just very quickly, right? Just pay attention to the cut, the phrase, and what impact that cut has on that phrase, right? Let's go back.
Don't creep, won't even pick up, 'cause you should know better.
Right, coming up.
Think that we could be together, fucking right.
Boom.
You know I got a man and he fucks me right. No reason to complain, hope we fuck tonight. And even if we can't, still won't make you mine. You wasted my time.
Final chorus. Here's some ad-libs there. Strip back a little bit now.
You know I got a man. But you know I got a man.
Layer back in.
Don't you understand? But you know I got a man.
Right, outro. And again, just finally, before we actually sign off, this outro, really good decision to finish on Mariah. Again, because the chorus, although she has a feature or an element within the chorus, it is, you know, mostly dominated by Chris Brown. So to end the outro on her vocal, again, smart move.
But you know I got a man. Don't you understand? You want me, that means nothing. I can't say. What can I say? What can I say?
Bangs, mate. Okay, that's it from me. If you want to see more breakdown and analyses videos, there'll be things popping up on the screen right now. Other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will see you in the next one.